Hey guys, Seth Gilman once here again, and as I said, I'm gonna start answering the questions I asked you guys to send my way on that thread on Anime Iowa's forums there on their website, and well, they just got a few here so far, so I'm hoping for more over the weekend while you guys are having fun, whatnot. Like I said, feel free to ask me whatever comes to mind for you. And with that being said, here we go. Now, I know some of these people from their forum names, or at least I know I met them in person. If I don't remember your name off the bat, I apologize. But anyways, like I said, let's get started. First, we got Maxite. I got a feeling I know who that is, but I just can't remember. Anyways, first question they asked, what are some of the most realistic military anime or manga series that you've seen in terms of either strategy or unit, squad, dynamics, and behaviors? What are the least realistic? Well, that's not necessarily that hard to answer, but if I were to say as far as most realistic military that I've least seen, golly, I'm trying to think. I think, as far as like the most realistic over the years, I'd have to say is maybe Black Lagoon. Not necessarily military, but a lot of that sort of thing involved throughout the series, based on real world events, or at least places, and that has a little bit more realistic as far as, like, the weapons that you see in there, and the things that happen in the series. Next closest to that is a little more of a fantasy, but at least involves more military squad tactics, and I've seen it on Crunchyroll, but it's that series called Gate. Fell in love with that series thanks to a friend who was watching on his account, and it was like the first couple episodes, and I just fell in love with it, and it's probably one of the reasons why I did subscribe to Crunchyroll in the first place. Granted, it's based on the JDSF, well, anyways, the Japanese military, anyways, involved in the series. And it focuses on one squad or platoon in particular throughout the whole series. But that's probably covers that aspect, even though it's not necessarily completely realistic, but it covers the unit squad aspects as far as behaviors, like as a unit that works well together through all the training, and they get more trust towards each other and things like that. Let's see here. I think what else that would fall into those strategies. Trying to think. Yeah, and I've probably seen some. I just can't think of it right now off the top of my head. But if I do, I'll mention it in the video here. But anyways, the least realistic. I'd say maybe like series like probably like the Gundam series, or various mech series, as far as militaristic deals. Because not saying as far as like tactics or anything, but really just the weaponry and things of that sort. In those series, that would probably say be the least realistic there on that one. But I'm trying to think what else that would be fall underneath there in that. But no, it's like I said, I'm sure there might be others. I just can't think of them right now. But anyways, that answers that. And the last question Maxite has is, can you do 100 push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and run 100 kilometers in a day? And have I actually ever done that? I'd say no. As far as like, have I actually ever done that for? No. 10 kilometers in a day, or kilometers, or yeah. Probably could. I never good math. I'm not sure how many miles that'd be. Probably could out throughout over the day, like spread out, as well as the push-ups, sit-ups, and squats. Probably if I spread more on, I might be able to, but in one shot for each one, that just wouldn't be very likely, even for me. Say that much. Next up, we got Apple asking, or I should say, what they start off with saying. That I've always been apparently a sweetheart, and it's always been a pleasure for them to see me there every year, because obviously this year I'm not going to be there. Really bummed you can't make it this year. Trust me, I feel the same. I've been to that convention since 2009, and it's the second one I ever started going to. But anyways, their first question is favorite anime. Easily hands down, Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. It was like, I want to say, my junior in high school on Toonami, back in the Cartoon Network, when they actually had variety back then at the time. Fell in love with it immediately, partly due to stuff I grew up watching in the 80s. But yeah, definitely Mobile Suit Gundam Wing is easily by far to this day my favorite series of all time. Because the reason they ask is they don't think they ever see me cosplay from an anime before, which is almost true with the exception of Ruby. Now I know it's been debated about that being an animated series or not, but excuse me, I kind of like to think of it as an anime series, not because simply animated, but Taurus, that I've dressed as, that would probably answer that question. So I like thinking yes I have, but that's always sometimes up for debate, but I would have to say, like I said, yes. That's that. Have you been to any other cons? That is a definite yes. And actually, before I went to AI, there was one in Falls, South Dakota called SogenCon. And back in 2013, that convention unfortunately had last year due to situations prior to that. Unfortunately, just eventually led to it being closed down, or at least stopping at that point in time. But I'm always hoping for the fact for a 3-day anime convention back in that town. Probably because, for nostalgia and just, because that was, where I first started going to conventions. I've also been to Anime Nebrascon, which was like the last convention I started going to over the years. Always fun deal. I always had my buddies that I've gone to conventions with recommending it. They said it was a good time, and definitely it did not disappoint. Other than the fact that when I got hit with the cold, but despite that, I still had a good time. And then the last one I'm mentioning here was the third one I started going to, and that was Anime Detour. Definitely always been worth the trip so far. Of course, I've been to the Twin Cities countless times, probably due to the fact that I'm a fan up there, so holidays, and I've seen my share of Twins baseball games over the years there, so one of the big reasons why I've come to love that convention as well. But those are the ones I've been to so far as 3-day conventions, at least anyways. Let's see here. Do I have a dream convention that you've always wanted to go to? There's a couple. That regardless of how far or how close they may be, but I want to say, I think, like Anime Expo. I'd definitely go with some of my friends. I've always kind of been curious about that. RTX, excuse me. RTX, or Rooster Teeth Expo, obviously, probably because of being a fan of Ruby. I would love to check that one out, just say, at least so I can say I've been there. And maybe one Comic-Con convention, not necessarily has to be really matter where. Maybe I know there's been some in the Midwest recently over the years, but anyways, those are at least some that I'd be willing to venture to give a try. But the first two, RTX and Anime Expo, I'd be willing to give a try for sure, just because, I can at least say I at least been there once. And actually, maybe even ASIN. I can't say for sure. I know my friends that have been there and love it. I have been to Chicago, but that was like a long time ago for like maybe half a day for a car show. I went with some friends of mine. But that was like a long trip. But that would answer that question as far as any dream conventions I would like to go to. And there could be others, down the line, but that's what I can think of right off the top of my head. And the last one that they've got is, what kind of video games are your favorite to play? Perhaps any first-person shooters or real-time strategy. Real-time strategy, I'm not really too big a fan of, but as far as answering what kind of video games I like to play, I love racers, mostly actual real, that involve real cars usually most of the time, like Forza Motorsport, and for the Xbox, and back in my PlayStation days on the PS1 and 2, Gran Turismo. So actual car games in that aspect there. Uh, Also, first-person shooters like Halo, the Modern Warfare Call of Duties, and recently I've started playing Battlefield 1. That's kind of been fun playing over the years. So, like I said, Halo and games like that. Another type of games that I'll play. And then certain anime-based ones, mainly like Gundam. I'm not sure if you're familiar with, or how familiar you're with the Dynasty Warriors video game series. There was a Gundam spin-off of that, and that I always had fun playing those as well, because it's based off my favorite type of anime, or anime genre for that matter. But yeah, first-person shooters I definitely have always enjoyed playing. Like I said, racers. Other games specifically that I enjoyed, even if they're not necessarily like racing, Twisted Metal, back in PlayStation, that was always fun playing back in my younger days. Bloody Roar and Marvel vs. Capcom are probably the two fighting games I ever bother playing, because I'm not much of a fan of those, but they've had certain things that appeal to me, and that's why I ever bother playing with those. And there's one other, what other game was there? Of course, Resident Evil. That I've always been a fan of. I remember playing the Director's Cut version on the PlayStation 1. I borrowed the copy of the game from a friend before I got my own. And let's just say I was dumb enough to follow some advice when I first played it. And it's a game that I always cherished from my younger days that I've enjoyed playing before. But last but not least is Otaku. Not really so much as questions as in being a smart aleck, but it's my friend Zach Jensen. And he puts on here, so I've heard about a couple of trolls running around with a cutout of a certain wrestler claiming it's you. Are these guys on your naughty list? And how do you plan to deal with these guys carrying this 2D impersonation of you? I'm sure you know who this is. Stay safe, man. Well, obviously, yes, Zach, I know who it is. I know it's you. I'm hoping you, Dan, and Scott are having a good time, but be rest assured, you and Dan will be having payback coming your way. Trust me, it's coming. That's all I can say. But yeah, they have a 2D or a fathead. If you're familiar with those, it's those wall clings that you can put on your wall from like various sports figures, race cars, from like NASCAR, for example. But they have a one of John Cena on a plastic cutout, and they'll be carrying that around. It has a sign hanging around the neck there, saying why my two buddies are carrying this around, since I'm obviously not there at the convention this year. But yeah, you guys are technically on my naughty list, Zach and Dan. But yeah, trust me, I got some things in mind, already in motion. So, well, actually, let me phrase that at least in mind, to say the least. But be rest assured that they're coming your way. But that being said, that's all I got for now. Like I said, ask me questions throughout the whole weekend, guys. Internet access for me is kind of hard at times, at least when I can upload the videos. But feel free to ask me anything, cosplay, like I said, manga, my military career, whatever comes to mind, really. It could be one question, it could be multiple. It doesn't really bother me that much. I'm doing the best I can, and trying to make these videos too long, but not too short to where, there's just too many videos, But anyways, I would like to thank you guys for your time. I hope you're having a great time there this weekend. Sounds like the weather's going to be really nice. Usually has been over the years I've been there. And like I said, feel free to ask more questions over time. I'll put down a link again in the description down below, just for good measure. And have a good weekend, guys. Stay safe, take care of each other, and have fun. Whoop.